So as you can see, yet again, already have my face on, and we'll just go through what I used very quickly. So to prime my skin, I used my Urban Decay Naked Skin Illuminating Beauty Balm, what this called. And then I used the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Smoother Base, which is just a, like, clear balm, pore minimizer, filler kind of thingy. Then for foundation today, I used my MAC Mineralize Foundation in the shade NC15. And then I used my MAC Pro Longwear in the same shade NC15 to conceal under my eyes and highlight through the center of my face. And then just to conceal any blemishes or any redness that is peeking through, I used my Rimmel Match Perfection Concealer in the shade 230 Fair. Then to set all of that in place, I used my Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation in the shade Light. Have I mentioned that I love this stuff? And I do have a full review and demo up. Go check that out if you haven't. Why haven't you? Then I did contour, and I used my MAC Pro Sculpting Cream in the shade... Sculpting Cream? No. Sculpting Powder in the shade Sculpt. And then I did my brows, and I used my Urban Decay Brow Box in Brown Sugar. I used a little bit of the Jordana Fabi Brow in medium brown, and then I set all of that in place with the Benefit Gimme Brow in light medium. And I'm actually thinking I'm going to go pick up the darker one today because it's a little too light to go with my hair. So that's where we are. So as you can see, I've pretty much got one eye done, and I did prime both my lids with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, but then I decided that I wanted to use a MAC paint pot, which you don't need to use primer with, but you can, I guess, if you want to. And this is in the shade Constructivist. It's just a very coppery brown. It's very deep, but I really love using this in the fall. I'm just going to use my ring finger to apply that all over the lid. And I am patting that up into the crease a bit as well, just to blend out that line. Then, before that sets, I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush and go into my new favorite thing, which is the Rocky Horror palette from MAC. And I'm going to take this shade called Blackberry here, and just on a really big fluffy brush, I'm going to blend out any harsh lines and just really buff that back and forth, really blending it out, really making this smoky so there's no crazy harsh lines going on. Then going back to Constructivist and using a Real Techniques shading brush this time, I'm going to just dip that in the brush and run this along my lower lash line. And I am going to meet it up at the outer corner here so there's no like gaps or anything. And then I'm going to get a little bit more and run that over the center, not the center, but pretty much the entire mobile lid, just to get that color back from blending. Then picking up a Crown Brush C476 brush, I'm going to go back into that Blackberry color. And I'm going to blend out the lower lash line as well. Then I'm going to go in with this eyeshadow from MAC. This is one of the Electric Cool eyeshadows in the shade Super Watt. And I'm going to use a stiff flat brush. This one is from Urban Decay. And I'm going to apply that to the inner corner and like the inner third of the lid. And then, just to make sure that those colors kind of blend together where one stops, I'm just using the other end of that brush and kind of just feathering that color over the rest of the lid a little bit. I'm just really making sure that that color is packed on there good and is super pigmented. And because for some reason I am wildly in love with this shade of eyeshadow, I'm going to go into the Kat Von D Monarch palette and take this buttery, creamy, yellow kind of shade. And on my Real Techniques Dome Deluxe Crease Brush is what this is called, I'm going to pick some of that up and use this as my brow bone highlight color. This will help just really blend out those edges too. And then I'm just going to pop this in that little area between the tear duct and the nose bridge, just to really open that area up. And then, just because this color is for some reason really good at canceling out dark circles, I'm going to place a little bit of that under my eye as well. And this step is completely optional, just in person. This, to me, makes a world of a difference. Then, because I feel like I've lost a little of my crease color by blending that out, I'm going to go back into Blackberry and that fluffy brush we used. Kind of tilt the brush this way and blend back and forth a little bit, just so we're not disturbing anything on the lid, but very lightly, just blending back and forth to get some of that smoky intensity from this color. Then, because I want my outer crease and outer V area to be a little bit darker, I'm going to go in with this blue shade here, which is called Heavy Black and Pendulous. I really love that name. That is awesome to me. But as I was looking for something to darken up my eyeshadows, I noticed that I had this color, which is navy blue from NYX. And if you hold them side by side, they are fairly similar. They are almost exactly the same color. So if you have this, you could use this instead. And most of these colors are not very unique, except maybe this one here. So you could find dupes for this very easily, I'm sure. But I really just wanted the packaging. And then I'm just taking it on a pencil brush and looking straight ahead. I'm just going to kind of carve out where I want this color to be the most intense, which is in my crease. So just like that. Then I'm going to pick up a little bit more and go down on the lower lash line a little bit, just darkening that outer corner, outer V area. Then I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. Where is it? Here it is. This is just the same one I've been using the entire video. And just very lightly, I'm just going to make sure that that blends. Just very softly blending that in. Getting a little bit on the brush, just because it doesn't really seem to be blending how I want it to. Just like that. So as you can see, that just kind of darkens that area a little bit without adding too much more color. Then I'm going to take a little bit on the lower lash line, just on the outer corner. Just like that. Fairly easy, fairly simple. Just adding a little bit of that color just to darken things up a little bit. Then to line my eyes, I'm going to use something different. Haven't used this in a really long time. I honestly forget that I have it. I'm going to use the Rimmel Scandalize eyeshadow stick crayon, but you can use these on your waterline. I wouldn't use these on your waterline if your eyes are really sensitive. At this point, mine are, yeah, they really can't feel anything. So I'm just going to use this to line my waterline and tightline with. And random, this is actually a pretty good drugstore dupe for MAC's Teddy Kohl pencil. So, just in case you wanted to know. Then I'm going to go back back with, I had a pencil brush. I guess I'll just use this brush, and I'm going to make sure that that is smudged out on the lower lash line, so it's not clumping up in my lashes. So then, on the top lash line, because I don't really feel like this look really needs liner, you could add it if you wanted to, like a little winged liner or a big wing. Go crazy, go dramatic, do what you want, it's your makeup. But I'm just going to take an angle brush. This is a MAC 263, and the blackest eyeshadow that I own, which would be this one, out of the Kat Von D Monarch palette. And I'm just going to push that into the roots of my lashes. So for mascara today, I used a combination of the Perversion mascara from Urban Decay and then the Maybelline Volume Express mascara. And I'm really, really happy with the way they look. Very long, very voluminous. For highlighter, Mary Luminizer from the Balm every time. Then for blush, I dipped into my BH Cosmetics Glamorous Blush Palette, and I used these two here. I mixed them together. I probably should have used these two because this was just way too pink and I really had to blend that sucker out. I think this is a really good investment blush-wise. Anyway, it's like $15. Then moving on to lips, I'm gonna keep it fairly simple, very nude. I'm going to use Burr Cream Stick Liner from MAC. Again, for some reason, this tutorial is very MAC heavy. I did not mean it to be that way. That's just what happened. I am going to fill my whole lip in with this. I'm not really sure if I said that or not, and I'm getting kind of irritated because my makeup keeps creasing along my laugh lines. It's like resting bitch face. Keeps you pretty, keeps your makeup solid. Then over top of that, I'm going to dab some of MAC's Pret a Pretty lipstick. This is a, I don't know what finish this is, or it's got fancy packaging. I think this was in the New Temptation collection that came out a really long time ago, but I want to say they do have a permanent color that is very similar to this. We're just going to stab my lip ring with it. Yes. Just blend that in with my finger. Because this is a very, very, very nude colored lipstick. I was like, ooh, this is beautiful when I was in the store. Bought it, didn't try it on. I was like, I look dead. And with that, we are done with this look. I don't know what I'm going to call this. But there are the eyes up close. I like it a lot. I like the way this lip turned out too. I didn't think I'd be wild about it, but I like it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.